maybe if I did talk, maybe this could have been prevented. I started blaming myself for a lot of things, you know.
This could be good for me. Lately I was feeling like I need a purpose.
Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's your girl Priscilla Manzini and I'm back with another video. Today I'm doing a story time. Even though it's not something fun, it's just a traumatic childhood story that I'm gonna share with you. I really didn't want to share this story, guys, but lately I think it is really getting to me because I'm having bad dreams about this thing. So maybe if I talk about this, I'm gonna get better. I hope so. Let me share a little bit of my background so that this story can make sense to you. Growing up, I was raised by my grandparents from my father's side, and my grandmother was a very strict woman. If you know her, you know what I'm talking about. She really didn't want me to go anywhere. She didn't want me to go play with other kids. And as a kid, guys, I really didn't understand that. It did not make sense to me. I just wanted to play, you know. And I would go play, you know, as kids were rebellious. I'd go play at my neighbors because there were a lot of kids around my neighborhood. So I would go play with them. And every time I went to play, my grandmother would call me screaming, calling me to come home. And it would make me so mad. And then when I was doing grade 1, at the age of 7, on this particular day, you know, I don't remember a lot of stories about my childhood, but this particular day, I happen to remember every detail of it. So, on this particular day, I went to play with this friend. Okay, for the purpose of protecting her image, I'm gonna call her Precious. And guys, she's not a friend that I used to play with a lot. I only knew her from preschool because we were going to the same preschool. So on that particular day, I just decided to go play with her. She's only a street away from my home, and it's not far. When you're at her home, you can still see my home. So I go and play with her. We play for about 30 minutes or so, and then she tells me that she's hungry. Let's go to the kitchen so she can make some food. So at her home, there's outside rooms. It was a 3-room. Yeah, you know those outside boys' room. Yeah, it's one of those because she had like 3 brothers. Yeah, so it was 2-bedroom, and they also made a kitchen in one of those bedrooms. So it was their kitchen. And then we went to that kitchen. As my friend was busy making food, her brother comes to the kitchen. It was not a big deal. He was so nice to me. He told me I was beautiful. And you know, as a kid, like, you don't really pay attention to such things. I was happy and I said thank you. And then he just kept on coming and going. So in that kitchen there were chairs by the door. I think they were 3 or 4, and then they were packed on top of each other, so they were taller than me, and I was standing next to those chairs. And then this brother comes and say, "Oh, you want to sit?" And I was like, "Yes," even though I didn't want to sit, but his question was insisting on me sitting on those chairs. Okay, I'm like, "Yeah, I want to sit." And then he picks me up and put me on top of those chairs. It was okay. My friend made food, and the brother went to his room. He comes back after a minute or so. He comes back with money, and then he gives it to Precious. He tells Precious to go buy some snacks. Okay. Precious leaves everything that she was doing, and then I also got off those chairs because I want to go with Precious to the shops. How, as I am about to leave with Precious, the brother says, "No, don't go with her because she's gonna take forever to come back." I'm like, okay. At that time, nothing rings on my mind. Okay, I stay behind, and then I go sit down there by the kitchen, and then this brother goes to his room. After a moment, he calls me. He says, "Hey, come here." Okay, I go. And guys, at that time, I knew about rape because I would hear elders talking that so and so was raped because she was walking at night and this and that happened. So yeah, that's what I knew. I didn't think it's something that can happen to me as I'm playing with my friend. Okay, as he calls me to his room, I go, because at that time nothing rings on my mind that this guy might want to hurt me. Okay, I go, I enter the room, and then he was sitting on his bed by the corner. As he was sitting, he opens his legs and he says, "Come here." I went closer to him, and I was in between his legs, and then the guy starts putting his hand around my waist, and he says, "Come here, I want to see something." Okay, at that moment nothing comes to my mind really, because the guy was so nice to me. Like, since he saw me playing with my friend, he's been all nice, so I don't suspect anything. And then he goes to the window, because his bed was near the window, and then he opens the curtain. He peeps through the window just to check if there's no one coming. Guys, immediately he did that, it's like I heard a voice inside of me saying, "Run." As he was peeping through the window, I ran, guys, because the biggest mistake he made was not to close the door. As I got in, he didn't close the door. The door was wide open. I ran for my life. And then there were shoes. I left my shoes outside. I ran and took my shoes. When I got to the gate, I looked back. and I saw him standing by his door. He was looking at me. I don't know what was on his mind. I ran straight home, guys. And when I got home, I couldn't tell my grandmother. I couldn't tell her what just happened because I was so afraid. I was so afraid. I was like, what if she shouts at me and tell me that, you know what, I told you not to go to people's houses. That was my biggest fear. I really understand when someone who was raped keeps quiet, and a lot of people ask, why didn't you say something? It is not easy. It is not easy. I don't know why. It's just not easy. I couldn't tell Precious what happened. I just stopped going to people's houses. I don't know what happened to Precious when she came back from buying those snacks. I don't know if the brother did what he wanted to do to me, to her. To my surprise, that guy disappeared for a very long time. I didn't see him for many years. I don't know where he went to. Sometime I thought maybe I'm just making this up in my mind, that maybe this guy was not trying to hurt me. But what happened is, after a few days, another friend of mine came to play with me at my house. She usually doesn't visit me, but she came. And as we were talking, I just happened to tell her. I don't know where I got the strength from, but I told her. And that girl was a neighbor, was Precious' neighbor. She shares a story with me that Precious' other brother raped her. I get a Precious had 3 brothers. So it's not the one who tried to rape me, it's the other one. She tells me the story of how Precious' brother raped her. As she narrated the story, guys, it was so painful. It made me realize how lucky I was that I got away. It was so traumatic, guys. She tells me that he took a sock and put it on her mouth so that she could not scream, and took a rope and tied her hands, and then he raped her. And imagine, this guy is their neighbor. Imagine doing that to your neighbor's child. So in my mind, I'm like, what? So these brothers are actually rapists. Wow, I was so defeated, guys. Her story really made me see that I was really lucky to get away, because I just couldn't imagine going through what she went through. Years later, this guy comes back. At that time, I think I was doing grade 12. Yeah, I was doing grade 12. And I start seeing him. I come across him. And guys, he couldn't look me in the eyes. Whenever he sees me, he just looks away. He knows that I know what he was trying to do. And as I saw him, I was so angry. A part of me wanted to go to him and ask him, why would you wanna try to ruin my life like that? But a part of me just said, you know what, it's in the past, just let it go. And then this guy, after some months, I hear that he opened a shop. I think he was selling alcohol, I'm not sure. Okay, I'm just going on with my life. I removed him from my thoughts and all. And then this one day, I hear that he raped a girl in his shop. This guy was so messed up. I hear that he raped a girl, and I was so angry. A part of me was like, maybe if I did talk, maybe this could have been prevented. I started blaming myself for a lot of things, you know. So it happens that we talk about this story when I was at school with this other friend of mine who was staying in the same street with Precious. And then she tells me that, hey, did you hear that this guy raped this girl? And then I tell her that, hey, I'm not surprised. This guy once tried to rape me. And my friend is like, what? This guy is really a rapist. Because you are not the first girl that was complaining about him. On the same street, there are girls who reported this guy to his parents, saying that he tried to rape them. They were so lucky that they got away. So we do not know if others couldn't escape or what. Maybe there are many victims out there. I was so angry, guys, thinking that maybe, just maybe, I could have prevented this thing. I don't know. And I really thought I've let this thing go. But lately, as I've said, I'm starting to have bad dreams. In my dreams, I'm seeing this guy. And whenever I see him, I beat him like crazy, guys. I beat him. And every time I beat him, it's like he's becoming smaller and smaller, and I have so much power. I hit him like, yo. And then I tell him that you really thought I forgot what you were trying to do to me. And then I keep on hitting him and hitting him. I really don't know what this means. If you are good at explaining dreams, please let me know what it means. And I've dreamed of him 3 times now, like in just few days apart. I believe this traumatic incident shaped me in a way, because ever since that day I just couldn't go anyway. I couldn't go to my friends. I just became an introvert. I felt so safe at home. I just couldn't. So, and I didn't play much. So I feel like this guy robbed me of my childhood, because I really didn't play much. I was supposed to have played until I was 12, 13, but every time, I was just at home. And then my grandmother thought I'm being a good girl, listening to her by not going to people's houses. But she didn't know that there was a story behind. I didn't share this story with my family, but I did tell my mom just recently. So I'm just grateful, guys, that I managed to escape. I mean, this guy could have ruined my entire life. Imagine I was traumatized by an attempted rape. How much would rape traumatize me? So I really feel people's pain whenever I hear that so and so was raped. Like, I feel it deep down in my heart. Every time I hear a story that there's someone who was raped, guys, I become something else. I really feel so much pain. I don't know, maybe I need therapy. I really don't know. But yeah, and I don't think I've forgiven that guy. I know they say forgiveness is important, but I don't think he deserves it, because he continued and doing his evil ways. That's the end of our story. I hope you enjoyed listening to this story. I know it's not a story to enjoy, but yeah, thank you so much for listening to me. I actually feel like I've removed something in my shoulders by talking about this. If you are joining us for the first time, please don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you don't miss any of my videos. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you on my next video. Bye.